what's going on? Welcome back again to the EKQ podcast. I am your host, Clemens. And before I introduce our lovely panel, would you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell and hit all for more of this content every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So now let's get to introducing the panel. First, we have one half of the in-law suite. Crystal, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me back on. Is there an echo?
There is an echo.
Okay.
Go for it now. Talk now.
Okay. Thank you for having me back on. Like I said, I am Crystal from the In-Law Suite. That is a podcast that I do with my sister-in-law and best friend, Nicole. We have new episodes every Friday morning talking about a variety of topics, relationships, parenting, TV shows, you name it.
I like it. I like it. Well, hold on. There we go. That's weird. Next up, we have Mr. Black Wall Street John.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Black Wall Street Trading. I am a stock and options trader. That's what I do for a living. I'm also a graduate student finishing up a PhD in psychology. And you can find me on YouTube at Black Wall Street Trading LLC, or you can find me up on Instagram at John Cornelius 8770. No, yeah.
You jumped the gun, man. Next up, we have Danielle.
Hi, my name's Danielle. Since we running down everything, I'm a mommy, I'm a wife, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a new podcast host. We all got a lot going on. It's beautiful.
I love it. Well, your kids could have done that for you, but yeah, I'll still do that for them. And last but not least, we have my man Elmer.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have legally changed my name to like my boy Kanye. So his name is Ye now. My name is So get used to it. Spanish Lotus on Instagram. Oh no, Spanish Lotus on TikTok and Spanish_Lotus on Instagram. Follow me.
We'll still give you a cheer for that. All right. Maybe lay off the drinks, but we'll still give you a cheer for that. Welcome to the panel. So glad to have everyone here. You guys all saw the questions. You know what we're about to do. So let's get into it. In this society, is there stigma against dating older men and women? In this society, is there a stigma against dating older men and women? Danielle, since you look so starstruck, I'll start with you.
I don't think it's a stigma against dating older men. I think that's probably preferable. I do think it's a stigma against dating older women, though. Like, we actually have like a title. When you date younger, they give us a name. It's like a cougar. But a man, he doesn't have a name. He's still just a man.
Nah, yeah, we do.
You guys have a name.
Yeah, we got a name. I promise you, we
What is
got
the
a name.
name?
Sugar Daddy.
I mean,
That's what they call it.
Once you
They
get a
call
woman,
you
every
sugar
man is
daddy.
a sugar daddy.
Huh? I mean, I know the real meaning of a sugar daddy, but a lot of times if the age gap is more than 12 or 13 years, or the guy looks like there's a good age gap, yeah, sugar daddy. That's what you're gonna get called by everybody.
I mean, but the age gap got to be big for a
Wait.
woman.
Hold on. Save the discussion. I love the discussion. Okay? We got to get to everyone first, okay? Next up, we'll go to
Yeah, I think there's a stigma against dating older men and women. Even if it's seen as more accepted for older men to date younger women, like you still notice it. You still talk about it. Like, that's still something that you see people complain about. So I don't think there's much difference in.
You think people complain about it?
They look down upon it. And I don't think there's much of a difference between men and women in terms of dating older or dating younger. It just looks, or to this society, it might be something that is seen as strange. Men just don't care. They just do it anyway. They don't give a fuck.
Shout out to all the men out there. Crystal, you did not seem entertained by that, so lay it on me. Lay it on me.
Just gonna let you have it.
I think there is a stigma and it goes both ways. I think it depends on, like, if there's a large age gap, I think that the younger person in the relationship can have a stigma and the older person in the relationship can have a stigma, just depending on where you are in the, where you fall in the age range. So I think with men, if it's an older man dating a younger woman, the older man probably has less of a stigma, that they feel like, okay, he did something special by pulling the younger woman. But I think that the younger woman might have the stigma in that relationship for dating an older man. And it's assumed that she's doing it, like John said, because that's her sugar daddy. So I think it can go both ways. I don't think it's necessarily just on the older person side.
Hmm. Okay. So the negative stigma you would say will be on the young person as well.
I think it goes on both people. Just being in a relationship with a large age gap, I think we look at both people weird.
Okay. Okay. John, bring us home, and then
All
we
right,
open it
so
up for free
I've
talk.
I've done this. So I'm gonna have to go with Crystal. I was like completely like nah, it's not. But then I had to think back in my own actual experience. Yeah, it kinda is. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as you might think it is, but it is there. But I think it's more so for like for men and women, but I think women probably would get stigmatized more because I think the guys would really mess with you if you was dating a woman with a large age gap, like a 20-year plus. Like when you get over 15-year age gap, then that's when it's a stigma kind of like for the man and the woman because she can like the younger if the girl is young, if she's younger, then she can kind of offset some of the flack that she gets because she's gonna catch it from men and women. The men that want to date her, that's in her age group, and she's not dating them, they're gonna give it to her a lot. Her friends will back off because they'll start to notice the difference because it's a big difference in dating when you dating somebody. If he's cool, like if he understands the age gap and he's not insecure and he like gives you the space she needs to operate, take her on nice vacations, and they like is really comfortable, then she got some bragging rights because she's in a real comfortable relationship, like where she can just really be free and understand it because she ain't gonna shock him with too much of anything that she can either do or say. He's probably been there, done that, and probably got the T-shirt. So it just depends on the person, but you're gonna get flack from both sides.
Do you think? Do you think? So you think? Actually, who said it? I think it was Elmer. You think women are more stigmatized by it?
I think that women are more stigmatized by it. Definitely. Um, there's a new concept that it's growing with older men now, and it's called grooming. And it's like not only applied to older men and underage kids, it's applied to big age gaps. So even if you're an adult woman and you're dating a man that's significantly older than you, there's an idea in people's heads that the man is grooming that younger person, that the younger person doesn't really know a lot, and they're manipulating their thoughts and ideas for them to be with them. So I feel like it's been women that are getting that have been the most stigmatized, but now it's coming right up to the whole concept being something that's strange to this society.
Oh yeah. I disagree with that completely.
You disagree?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Women,
go ahead.
the men in the society that are in that age gap are so weak. They're going to older men. They are tired of the guys who want them to buy stuff for them. They like the fact that, like, if I was to date, if I was single and I'm dating a younger girl, it's understood. Like, she don't have to worry. She can leave her purse at the house because that's the only way I know how to date. You understand what I'm saying? Plus, as far as like grooming, nah, we putting that wisdom on them. We
Listen,
teaching them how to build credit. We teach them how to start businesses. We teach them all these things, and that's the shit that like somebody in the age group may or may not know. It's not very likely that they're gonna know,
so you
and we
calling the men
kind of
soft?
lead them. Yeah, I'm
Calling
sorry.
men
Yeah,
weak?
I'm calling them soft. I'm calling them weak. Yeah, they like scared to even talk to girls. They
Okay,
sit up
okay.
there and look at 6 girls and sit there and talk with 8 men just sitting there. None of them broke their shit. They just sit there like this. Oh, I forgot her kids in the car. It's gotta be PG tonight. I totally forgot her kids in the car. I'm sorry, Danielle. My
She's
apologies.
laughing. She accepts it. She
No,
accepts
no,
it.
it ain't. No, it ain't. I totally forgot them babies was back there. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry. Please forgive me.
I
I'm
didn't know
used
that
to
either.
being loose with it, but not tonight. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
put a filter on this mouth.
So
Oops.
Japri says
I'll be
the
home
older the
soon.
man the older the man is, the more mature and valuable he is. Women
Yep.
are born with value, and men have to work hard for his value. Women
Yep.
are supposed to be more youthful.
Yep.
I think a woman, her value from society is on her looks. And I think that, for a man, his value comes in the provider aspect. So
Mhm.
I think what they're saying is that as let's say he's older, he's more established in his career, he may have a higher income, more earning potential, he may have assets. And so that's where the value is placed from a society standpoint versus he can look any kind of way as long as he brings money to the table, then he's considered to be valuable. But a woman that has a lot of money and doesn't have the looks is not going to have the same level of value because she's lacking what society is essentially looking for.
What
Yeah.
men are essentially looking for.
So that's society.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Crystal. Do you think that is, um, no matter what happens, that's the way men are programmed because of society, or do you think that's just what men want?
Is there a difference between those two things?
Yes.
Because if you have society that is from a young age telling you X, then you grow up in a world where X is a fact. But you may go to another society that believes Y, and everyone there has been raised to believe Y, and that's the fact. So I think what men want in our society is let's say in America, what men want here is based on what society tells them they should want. I
Let
don't
me
know that there's a major
So
difference between
let,
what
let me
society says and what they want.
let me give you an example. All right, so we are all still essentially animals. We're still mammals, right? If you raise a lion telling it that it's a vegetarian all its life, and it hits adulthood, do you think it's still not going to crave any meat at all?
Okay, so I get what you're saying, and I concede that point. But I would say that I think that there are many men who choose to date someone based on what their friends would say about that person. So they may like another person more, but if their friends are not going to think that she's fine or bad, but they like this person and he has equal access to both of them, he's going to go for the one that his friends are going to up him on. I think once a man gets to a certain level of maturity and he may realize, okay, that's not serving me, let me just go for what is in my own best interest. But I think that status comes from our peers, and what we want is often shaped by external factors.
Mm.
She said a mouthful then because I will not disagree. When she put that mature on there, she
Yeah,
Mm.
brought it all the way to the crib
yeah.
because that's
'Cause
exactly right.
maturity. I mean, yeah, because at that point you actually know what you want a little bit more. You're not basing
Yeah.
it off of what you think other people.
Nah, it still looks as there. That the looks
yeah.
are
Looks is
still
still
there.
there. Looks is still
Yeah.
there.
But what I'm saying is, like, some guys may like a thicker woman, right? That
Hmm.
may be what they're
Yeah.
attracted to. But they may go for a thinner woman because they don't want their friends and everyone to say, oh, he dating a fat girl, right? Do you see where I'm saying? Like, eventually he may decide once he gets to a certain level of maturity, I'm just going to date the person that I like. But at a certain point, I feel that and I'm saying men, but I think women do this as well. They're going to go for the person that society says looks good versus who they think personally looks good.
Elmer, you have anything to throw into this?
Um,
Yeah, she said a mouthful just
yeah, she
then.
said a lot. I think in the end it's gonna be biological. I think in no matter what society you go to, that's always the younger, prettier girl that's the most valuable. So no matter what society tries to change, that always seems to stay the same. And it always seems to stay the same that girls want a guy that's taller. That's like the number one thing too. So like in terms of physical attributes, those things don't really change that much. Um,
With
I want
women, they change over time.
say it again.
With women, it changes over time.
So you think that a woman could
As the
be
woman matures, she physical attributes are not that important because she's leaving her childbearing years, and she has children, or she does not wish to have children any further. And the most attractive thing to her is going to be your stability and your stability, the way that you speak to her, the way that you treat her, the way that you make her feel. But your physical is going to be almost just non-existent. But older women over 30 just don't date the same way as 19, 20, 23, 24, 25. Now, I'm not saying you can just throw your body away and just make yourself look a mess, but that's just not, she is not, when especially 35, 36, they not really worried about that. They just not. It's some women, you got some women who still go after that kind of guy, but she's learned and matured over the time that that's not always the best interest. And that's
I'm
not
going to
always
say
in
I
her
do
best interest.
think that as someone that falls into that category, that age group, I do think that looks are still important at any age. I think
Absolutely.
at any
Yeah,
age,
I was gonna come to you. Yeah.
Of course,
but
they're
I do
important,
think
but I just refuse to believe because I pull back on 35 and 37-year-olds that a woman is still looking for a guy who is in the gym all the time. I just don't believe it. A 19-year-old to 27, yeah. But when they
that's
get
not
over
going to be
30,
maybe
nah,
the
you just
primary
gotta be healthy.
factor, but attraction is still a major component for any relationship. Is there attraction has to be there.
Okay.
So I do think that we maybe could place more emphasis on. I agree with you. The person that I am today is totally different than who I was 10 years ago. Yes, but that doesn't mean that I'm just so evolved that I'm going to say, I just don't care at all what he looks like.
Oh
And
no,
as
no,
long
no,
as he has a good
no.
heart, I don't think anybody says that.
Hold on. Let Danielle get a word in. Danielle, go for it. I want to hear what you have to say.
I was just listening. I was just like, it's nice to know that men are delusional too. All the podcasts I've been on lately have been talking about women and what their expectations are and their value, and that
I
was
try to
very
keep it
eye
balanced. I
opening
try
to
to
me.
keep it balanced. All right, we go after both sides here. All right.
It was very eye opening. But to hear him say these things, okay, so I'm not afraid of my age. I am 37. I will be 38. You still gotta look good,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And my husband goes to the gym 5 times a week.
Hmm.
Well, damn.
Now, if
It's
we
still
put that
very
across,
important. I,
if
I,
we
make, I make sure that I give him that time. I'm not gonna bother you. Yes, go to the gym because I don't want you,
walking
looking like
around here,
anything. I love when
right?
I walk with him and women love looking at him.
Mm.
That's still attractive to me. It don't matter
Hmm.
how old I get. Don't you be seeing those old men that got the bodies they be all flossing and stuff on Instagram and stuff? Women of
Hmm.
all ages would get with that old man because his body is
Hmm.
banging. So don't think that don't matter, baby.
She wants
No,
to.
I ain't gonna say it don't matter,
And then when you
but if
older,
you look at it,
we're hoping that you are more financially stable, more
mhm,
emotionally stable, more mentally stable. So to have a banging body on top of that,
okay, no
Did that
banging body, but
Danielle?
everything else is banging.
Yeah.
Got a
Danielle, did
banging
that matter
credit
to
score,
you?
banging house, banging ride, and completely set. I promise you,
but we have
you're gonna have to
even
be a Oompa Loompa to not get no play because you getting play across all domains.
But you
from
have to get to the
25 and
point
up.
where someone even knows that you have those things, right? Like the first step, the door is how you look. Now, I know that social media changes things, right? So he could post a picture standing in front of all this stuff and then we get it all at once. But if you're walking down the street and you're an Oompa Loompa with all these wonderful financial assets, if that's what's important to this particular woman, she still has to entertain you enough to know that that's what. Like, have you guys seen those gold digger videos that some
Of
people
course.
make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, the looks matter. The looks
I don't
matter.
know. The girls always they failed. I ain't seen one where they passed yet.
But I'm
the
saying
dudes who are doing the
look,
videos are actually not bad looking dudes. Like they are not bad looking dudes. Like they can pull even if they just had like a Toyota out there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular car. Then you up here with a supercar. That's a whole nother. And then they all change their mind. I think it would
that
be a better
particular
point if you
person
had
was not attracted to him. So it doesn't matter that he's an okay looking guy to an average person. To that particular person, she wasn't attracted to him. So the attraction was a roadblock that he had to get past in order to even demonstrate what else it is that he has to offer.
He got
and
past.
The only reason that she was then entertaining him was for those financial things. So if he then decides to pursue her, then he already knows that she's only with him for money.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was more attractive, then she may have entertained him without knowing about the money aspect.
Let Elmer get a word in. Hold on. Let Elmer go.
Can I ask the ladies if when they were younger, did those other aspects besides look matter as much as they matter now when you're looking for a partner?
For me, yes.
It was always the same?
Yes, and I actually had a friend that I've been knowing since I was about 21, and we got back in contact with each other, and we was having a conversation. He was like, "You are the same." And at first I was offended. I was like, "I'm the same." He was like, "But it's not a bad thing. You the same. It's just refreshing to know that, my mindset hasn't changed." I mean, when I was younger, I dated older men.
Oh shit!
Got some kids back there.
And now that I'm older, my husband is younger. Well, he only 6 months younger, but let him tell it I'm a cougar. So,
yeah.
I mean, what I look for is the same. I've always looked for how you treat me, how you look, what your goals are, all the same things.
I would say I agree with her. I think that it was a different percentage probably when I was younger. Like the looks mattered, I think, a little bit more.
97%.
I wouldn't say that much because
Okay,
I still wasn't dating any bums just because they look good. Because when you're in your 20s, there's a lot of good looking bums out there. Let's just be honest. So I mean, it still matters, but I don't think I know if, and I haven't dated in a long time, but if I were to re-enter the dating pool, I know that I would be looking for different things at this age. Yes, but I am a mother now. I have totally different set of responsibilities. If I had no kids and got divorced and was a single woman with no kids and responsibilities, then I might just be like, just need them to look good because I got a good job. I can provide for myself, so I don't really necessarily need somebody for that. So I don't know from that aspect, but as a mother, yes, totally different set of responsibilities and expectations if I were to be dating.
Yeah. It was a bum.
A lot of that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude can't be ugly. I get it. But I'm just never gonna concede to that. After you over 30-something, man, the women are just not into dudes who that's all they think about is going to a gym and six packs and all. They just not, because the most of them are mothers.
More women know or something? No,
I date women, but just I kind of know what they like, and I ain't got no six pack, and I can get them all. I'm just telling you, I don't have a six pack, and I like them in their 30s, and they don't come up. It just
I'm
don't
gonna
come
put
up.
you on the spot a little bit here, John. You're 6'3". Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I got you.
So I mean, so you do gotta
I
have a
mean,
cheat code there.
a little bit. You know, the dimples help and the curly hair, but still.
Got
But
that good
I'm
hurt,
not
right?
saying, I'm not talking about a dude's face. I'm talking about, girls, the ladies know what I'm talking about. You got cute, and then you got fine. Then you got everything. Like, whoa, that's like he cute and he got a nice body. Or he all right in the face, but his body is just woo woo, like something to just sit and stare at. You know what I'm saying? How many dudes, first of all, if women over 35 went for that, how many they gonna find? And then when you go to that, once you go to, if you that's all you, if that's one of the things you're looking for, how many you gonna find? How many you gonna find is you can bring around your kids, because you probably got kids at this point. Then out of that group, how many you gonna find that's got it right? They don't need you to co-sign with them. You can actually buy a house with them. And then when you get rid of that group, I mean, your number goes down, 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 and then down.
But
That's all I'm
Danielle,
saying. You just don't have a big
you
market
have
for
that
it.
Hold on.
person.
Give me
So
1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. So for anyone just hopping into the live right now, welcome to CKQ Podcast. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as I'm going to drop the link to the stream in the chat right now. But remember, you can only come in for one question for the live, so choose wisely. Link is dropped. Panelist, you can continue.
I have a question for John. I'm
Yeah.
just like going back to the original question. Is there an age difference or discrepancy that makes you uncomfortable between an older man and a younger woman?
Oh,
Me
what's your
personally?
limit?
Yeah,
What's
you
what's your
personally.
limit?
Oh yeah, yeah. They once you get one, I stay away from that double up. Nah, the double up. I just can't do the double up. I can't do the double up. I can't. When you get when you exactly a whole almost 3 decades, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. I think 15, 16 years is like that's my
That's
tops.
pushing it.
Yeah, nah, that's my tops. That's my tops. Decade and a half. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I can't do the whole.
so 15 years, that's still a big age gap though.
Yeah, but that one worked. That one's fine. That one's all right.
Yeah, Elmer,
That's still a big
that's for you,
like,
bro.
Yeah,
that's still a big age gap.
it is.
Elmer looks like the guy that sprinkles salt on steaks.
I mean, but it works.
Well,
That's great. That's great.
My youngest son's mother is 15 years different than me. And
I'm just saying it's still a big age
Oh.
gap.
right. Yeah, it is. But once you get to 20, that's a lot. That's 24, 23, 20. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm sorry.
Unicorn
That's just a
word. How
lot.
you doing?
So
How you
much.
doing over there? My mom dated my dad, who was 28 years older, and I'm still like, what the hell?
My
That's
mom and my dad have a big age gap like that. I don't know exact. It's over 20 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's just me. That's me personally. I'm not, if somebody do it, they do it. But I don't. I just. That
No,
would
you
be an
really do look
uncomfortable
like him.
spot for me to be that much older. It would be uncomfortable for me.
Is it you, Elmer? Oh my goodness.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So for anyone else in the chat right now, the link to the live is dropped in. If you're curious to ask anyone of the panelists, even Salt Bay, a question, do me a favor and call in. If you're calling in with your face on the camera, please have good lighting behind you. If you don't feel like showing your face, that is okay. Come in with your question. You can only use one for the whole live. So, anyone else have anything to say to this before we move on to the next question? Danielle, you said the other men have typically been, reasonable on other panels? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that they have been reasonable. It's just the focus hasn't been on men. It's been on women and how we think and how we view things.
Okay.
And yeah. So
Okay.
just to hear him say what it been, people talking about how we view things, but like on a skewed view, like how we view men or what
Mhm.
And this one, it was just like it's like that was just wild to me to think that just because you're over 30, that looks are important.
Well, not as important as
As
they were when you were younger, but with you, they are.
Yes, you must
I
look
think with
good.
everyone. I think with everyone of all ages.
We'll see. I don't know. I
Ooh.
ain't seen it.
And
I'm
I
not
think that if
witnessing
you
it.
found a
I
woman
put
that
it like
looks
that.
more
I am
less
not witnessing
important,
it.
then it might be how, like, because the way you sound when you talk about a woman over 30, it's like she becomes desperate.
Nah,
That's what it sounds to me. And so if a woman is willing to throw that out the window, then maybe that's what it is. She's just desperate. She
Hmm.
doesn't feel like she can get anything
I
other
just
than.
don't see it. I mean, I just don't. I don't see it. I
And
just
that's why
don't
I'm
see
just
it
curious.
in
It's like, so were
society.
you not getting women and now you're getting a whole lot more?
Now I've
Oh,
always had a bunch,
shaming, shaming.
Yeah.
Come
especially
on.
when I
I'm
was
not
younger.
saying, I'm just trying to figure out where he get this from. Like,
Like I'm
So
out.
let me.
Like I'm in town. I see things. I mean, I can. I don't have to be a homosexual to look and tell if a man is ugly or not. Or he all right. I mean, I just don't see. If you look at how women behave, there's nobody fixing to tell me unless size is your personal preference that dude over here he don't go to the gym, but he's not like this my 600-pound life dude, but he is obviously set, and she can see that he's set by what he drive, what he wearing on his wrist. But he can pull, he gonna pull. I'm just telling you, he's gonna pull. Period. And it ain't about desperate. If the 37 don't want him, I promise you, the 26-year-old do. She dying to help get some financial help around here. That's attractive to women. Women that's attractive. That's y'all like money. You like money. You like a man who will make you feel
Security.
secure. If you need him, he can do it. And it ain't about like being a gold digger. It's just like my man can do this for me. And that just gives you a certain amount of comfort. And let's say this dude, how many dudes do you really see over 35 and over 37 still in the gym all the time? Like how many? It's not a lot.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
You
not a
scared
lot.
her. You scared her off. What's wrong with
No, she probably
you?
had a
No.
bad
Yeah.
skin or
Yeah.
something.
I know.
I just
Crystal, what do you
don't
think
see
about
it.
that? What do you think about what he's saying?
Me,
Yeah.
we just have to agree to disagree on this one
Really?
because
Okay. Okay.
I I get where he's coming from,
And then you gotta
but
look at where I live too. I'm in the South. Them guys down here, they ain't in it. They like I'm in the health. I'm into lifting weights and stuff like that now. But man, the dudes that be in there with me are in their 20s and they 20s and in their 20s. And then there's me, the guy I work out with, 26.
I don't think that there's ever any age where looks are just non-existent. I think that you're talking about a specific type of woman and you're ascribing her characteristics to all women, and I think that's false. But
But see, I'm not
we
saying
will
looks are
agree to disagree.
non-existent. That's not what I said. I'm saying that looks do not come into play as much over 35, and I'm never gonna say it is as it did when they were in their 20s.
And that's
Girls
why
in
I
their
said we
20s
agree to
look,
disagree.
but you
Yeah.
Because
just
you will
said that you
never
was like that.
agree. And I'm just saying that the
But you
women
just
that
said
you are
that you did. It was the same
basing
thing with you.
the women that you are basing your statement on do not is not a representation of all women, is what I'm
But
saying.
you just said it a minute ago. You said that what you look for in a man was not the same thing you did when you was younger.
But I
And
never said that looks was not part of what I would be looking for.
but see, you keep removing look. You just keep saying, "I want you with this ugly ass man." That's not what I'm saying.
I didn't
I'm
say
not
that.
talking about that. I'm just saying looks are not as important. Meaning they are still relevant, but they're not as important as these other things are
If
more
you
important.
think back to what I initially said, I said that attraction is the gatekeeper to the entire relationship, and I
Mm-hmm.
stand by that. So I have to be attracted to someone to even get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like what you're saying is that the women that you've observed, the attraction it can be purchased, and that is not the case for my experience for all women.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it, but it's not how I ain't never seen it the way you talking about it. I've always seen it where you even hear women saying, "There's no such thing as an ugly billionaire. There's no such
I
thing as
ain't
an
never
ugly
heard nobody
millionaire."
say that because I've heard many women that describe many billionaires as ugly. So I've never heard that saying.
Until a billionaire pull up on them, and they tell it, and then put that pressure
Based on
on
their
them,
maturity,
If
which most of
being
the
able to
time,
But in that
recreate
case,
their whole life again.
ooh,
okay.
Sam was on. Hey, listen,
you wouldn't date Jeff Bezos, he's a good-looking guy.
Would I date Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
No, based on his personality, I would not.
Oh, okay.
Now, how many other women you think wouldn't date him?
I can't speak for all women. I'm sure there's plenty of women that would, but women do have a set of standards, and
That's true.
money and looks are not the only thing that women are looking for. That's all I'm saying. There are other things when you say when we get to a certain age, you keep focusing on what the person can do for me, and I'm saying that that's not always going to be very important in every single woman's life. There's many successful women that are independent that do not look for product from their relationship. They look for other things that are more fulfilling in other ways that
Mm-hmm.
make having a relationship worth it. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're in a genuine relationship, it does take work and effort. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that the only thing that women want to get out of that is financial. So for me, if there's a person that I don't agree with them on a moral level, I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how good he looks
Mm-hmm.
because morality is important to me. We need to have the same values. We need to have things in common. And those things, for me, cannot be purchased. If that can be purchased for someone else, if they're willing to overlook certain things because the person can provide a certain level of financial stability, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I don't have to sleep in that bed with them. So do you, boo. That's good. It's just not on me. And
All
it
right.
sounded like, I don't want to speak for Danielle, but it sounded like she was saying something similar, that there's other factors. It's not only financial and then nothing else matters.
Okay.
But that may be the case for some women that they are looking for primarily financial
Crystal, can I ask
attraction.
you a question?
Definitely.
Do you think that both men and women, if you pulled 100 men, they can all relate on a certain category of things that they want in women? Like 70% of them can all pick roughly the same thing.
Like, yes, that's when we go back to talking about like what society has kind of shaped us to want.
Do you think that's society more than like
Biology.
actual biology?
Are you so biology, you're talking about physical attraction?
Correct.
Um, I think that's I think that's society because I think that around the world, what we consider beautiful is different.
Interesting. So if society started saying that short men are a lot more desirable, you think all women would start suddenly wanting short men?
Nope.
I think that Kevin Hart kind of started a acceptance by having like a taller wife.
If Kevin Hart made $35,000 a year, he'd be a single soul.
I
He
mean,
he was not single
pretty damn.
when he
He's
rose
funny.
to fame.
When he what?
When he became famous, he wasn't single.
He didn't have as many options, but he was with the
Oh, I'm
same person.
sorry. Let's go back. Before he got famous,
He
he
was
was single.
married.
Married to who? His high school sweetheart, right?
I
Yes,
don't know. I know he was married. I don't know
that was his
her,
high school sweetheart. Yes.
but
And then he got
I'm just
beside
saying
himself and ended up messing up.
there's a man at my job that I work with, and I don't know. I don't want to cross any lines, so I'm not going to ascribe a word to him. But he's
What's his name?
probably, huh?
I'm kidding.
Oh, but he's probably like 4 feet something, and he is married to a taller woman that has a successful career of her own. So she's not with him for his money. So I don't think that every short man in the country or in the world is single. No. I
That
think that they have a higher a harder burden to overcome because society has told women that you need. I think
That's
that
the
a woman
society.
that dates a shorter man, they're going to look at her a certain way. So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they could find someone.
No, it's not impossible for him to find someone, but I think just the fact that a woman just probably don't feel comfortable or secure with a man who she's bigger than. You ever thought? I think that's an aspect. Plus, they like some. I mean, I'm just saying these are things that I've heard, but maybe I'm
I think there's
listening
a lot of
wrong.
people that I know that I see the men that they're attracted to, and I'm not attracted to them. So I don't think that just because someone isn't my cup of tea or isn't the average person's cup of tea, that they're unattractive or I think people just have difference of tastes.
I wouldn't say that that makes them instantly unattractive, but there is a person. There's if you had two people, if you had two men with two separate qualities, one tall, athletic, blah blah blah, the other one looked like an oompa loompa. Not that they're both not going to have options, but one will have far more options than the other.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes.
However,
So,
I
so
think
that
that
one guy. Wait, hold on, wait. So that one guy will be a lot more appealing to a big mass of women.
Over the other guy.
Not
by
because of
how they look
society's.
only though is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, yes, they will have more options, but once we've given him his pool of women that click man A, and then we've given this other guy the women that click man B, right? We know how they look now. Now we go to the next step, which is whatever. We don't know how that man is going to continue to fare as we look at other categories that are important to people. Because I feel like what's being said tonight is that there's two categories that matter, the looks and the money. And all I'm saying is that there are far more categories that go into play.
Yeah.
Because looks, I'm married, okay? And I like the way my husband looks, and I like that my husband earns money. But if my husband has a catastrophic accident and his whole face melts off, and then he can no longer work, the looks and the money have gone away. But there are far more things that our relationship is built on that can still be there to maintain the relationship. It's not only those two factors that are the only things that matter.
Interesting.
It is interesting because now she's sounding just like me and what I was saying a minute ago.
Sir, no.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I said. That there are more characteristics that women consider that outrank looks.
I think
That's exactly what I said. But y'all heard one thing and said, "Oh no, he still got to look good. He got to look good." Now, that's what I said.
You said that when women get to a certain age, which automatically means
over 30,
which automatically in your mind that age means something, right? When they get to this age,
mean something
they no longer care how the man looks as long as he has money.
No, I said exactly word for word. When a woman gets over 30, they stop putting emphasis on looks like they did in their early age. And there's other categories that make more that will provide other values that will trump over the looks. Because when a woman is over 30, you guys are old, y'all are aging, the man is aging. And typically women like men, they're not the same age, but for this sake of argument, I'm put both of them the exact same age. They the same age. She's getting older, he's getting older. She is not going to stress on looks as hard as she did when she was in her 20s. One, her mindset. She feel like she got a whole life ahead of her, so she can be very picky about who she picked. And yeah, I'm not saying that's the only thing, but it's a very big thing when girls are younger because from an evolutionary standpoint, they want to pick guys who look a certain way so that they babies will look a certain way so that this guy will be a protector. It's all innate. It's like not something that she's really conscious of. But as they get older, it's kind of like what you said. If your husband get into a catastrophic accident, you like him. Like you like him is where you can still love him. It's no problem and all these other things. But for somebody who is older and they're back in the dating scene, They're not going to say, well, I'm just not going to date him. He just ain't fine enough for me, girl. That's what I'm saying. If this dude, he's got himself together, he's squared away. You talk to him, he's nice. You like his personality. He may not be the finest guy around, but I believe that women over 30 are gonna talk to this man unless he's just really black ugly, like it just hurts to look at him. But she will get to at least get to know him because why wouldn't she? Like I just don't believe that he's not going to be, be able to get no attention. I ain't talking about somebody who has these really odd looks. Sometimes I ain't talking about nobody who look like they're about to die tomorrow. I'm not talking about a guy who look like he been massacred or he a devil or something wrong with him. He's just a normal guy. Nobody's going to really, he's not going to stop traffic and nothing like that. He's just a normal guy, may have a dad bod or something like that, but he's a nice guy. And I don't think women are not going to, I don't think a woman over 30 is going to overlook him. I just don't. I don't believe it.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to bring up someone onto the panel right now. We have Mr. Hall of Fame. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Peace and blessings. Hey. What's going on, sister? What's going on, John, Elmer? CKQ, what's happening? What's going down?
Thanks for coming on, man. What's going on? What are we talking? What are we talking?
There's a lot of capping going on right now. A lot of capping going on right now. She knows she capping right now. She know it. Since you know you capping right now. I don't know why you capping, but you know you are. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now.
So you're trying to tell her,
you can't handle the truth.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell her right now, listen. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to leave your husband if something happens because you know, and I know your reputation is on the line. You're not going to want to look bad. You leaving him like that will make you look bad. And especially if y'all got kids, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely not leaving. Because then you don't want to mess up your kids. You don't want to mess up their image of their father, their idea of their father. Why would you do that? Nobody would do that. That would make you a horrible person. You know what I'm saying? You'll stick it out. You know what I mean? And you know that, and I know that. You know what I'm saying? So don't sit up here and cap and act like if Floyd Mayweather pulled up, if Boris Kudrow pulled up, Idris Elba pulled up, we already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We already know what it is. We don't got all these babies in the world for no reason. We know what it is. So let's not cap. We know what it is. Look, and it's the same for men too. It's not just a woman thing. It's the same for men. A man knows. He see Janet Jackson. He see a Halle Berry. He see a high profile woman. He's gonna be like, oh man, you know what I mean? And if she's interested, even more, he's definitely gonna wanna check on her, no matter who he is. That's just too much temptation. We only human, you know what I'm saying? So we got to keep it 100. You know what I mean? That's why if it was me and I was famous or I met somebody high profile, I'm definitely having my spouse or I'm definitely having somebody with me that I'm like, yo, be with me right now because I know that the temptation is real. And that's how people get caught up because they start capping and start thinking all these other things when they know the temptation is really real. We all know temptation don't exist for no reason; it exists for a reason. So you got to be prepared. You know what I mean, so that you don't run into any mishaps. So we know what it is. You already know.
Hold on, let's give her some time to respond, Crystal.
I appreciate that comment, Mr. Hall of Fame, but anybody that really knows me, I am not the type of person that cares what other people think about me. So I'm not going to put myself through a lot of undue hardship just to keep up appearances. So if I choose to stay with my husband, then that's because I felt like that's the choice I wanted to make, not necessarily because I wanted to look a certain way. And I don't believe that if me and my husband separate, that has to impact his relationship with his kids in any way. So I don't agree with that aspect. And I also, as a married woman, value my marriage more than a one-night stand with a celebrity. So I don't think that was a great example of a temptation for me personally, because I feel like I'm assuming in this scenario it's a one-night stand.
I think he meant if you were single. That's what I think.
Oh.
I think he meant. I don't know. Ask him, Mr. Hall of Fame. Is that what you were saying? If she was single?
No, I'm saying period. We as people
Oh, okay,
know
okay.
we as people know
Point
what
blank period.
temptation is. We know what temptation is, and we
Yeah.
know how much we know what we know what we like and what we don't like. We know that already. So it's
I
like
think that once you are married and you have children involved, you have far too much to lose for like I think the temptation is way different than when you're single. Like I think that I have too much to lose for like a physical temptation to jeopardize. I can't. There's no one that I can imagine that I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna risk it all tonight. I can't imagine that.
exactly like I said, sis. Like I said, your reputation would be on the line. You would not
No,
want
my
to
marriage would be on the line. I don't give a damn about the
everything. It's
reputation.
all
I'm
on the
talking about
line.
my marriage.
It's all on the line.
I
It's
think
all on the
that
line, sis. Everything.
What do
Everything's
you
on
want to
the
say?
line.
Hold on, Elmer. What do you want to say?
I think that and like in defense of John, which I never do, I think that I think that what he was saying was that as you get older and you develop more experiences and you start to know more, the looks or the value of looks becomes lesser for you, and you start to look for other things. I think that's what John was meaning, and those other things are going to equate to them making more money and being more successful. That's just those type of qualities are what you have to be a successful person in this world, right? That's what I think John was trying to say.
Yeah.
I think what tends to happen is when you're dating girls and when you're a girl dating guys, you start to think of those things as more. You start to think of just the material things of those aspects, and you start to become insecure with your own. Uh, you start to become insecure when you see other people who have what you have but more of it, and you start to go, well, this is all what women want and this is all that men want, because you get told, and you probably, because of your own attractions, you see that these are the things that women want, so my girl is going to want that, so of course that's what it's going to be. And it's like not true. I think what Crystal's trying to say is that there's more to that when it comes to being in a relationship with someone, especially someone with marriage with kids. Like, it's not just about reputation, it's not just about status, it's about something deeper that you don't want to give up, something that's more meaningful. And I think what everybody has to get in their heads is that meaning means a lot, and that meaning keeps people in relationships.
I'm gonna share one last
100%
thing.
agree.
I'm gonna share one last thing, and then I'm out and I'm on my channel. One, Elmer, you don't have to explain to me what they're saying. I took college English courses in high school. I understand the English language perfectly well, my brother, perfectly well. But thank you. Secondly, you know what I'm saying? The reason why people do that when they get old is because two things happen: they lose hope and they get lonely. Okay,
No.
those are two things that happen. They start losing hope because they feel like, oh man, like I ain't never gonna find what I really really want, and then they get lonely. They just naturally get lonely. We all get lonely sometimes. Even young people, we all get lonely.
You
You know what I
saying
mean?
that is why they get so defensive.
No, but
You
it's true
saying
though.
that is why they start getting mad at you, and they
They can
start
get
to
that, but I'm
leave
telling the truth. I don't care.
podcasts.
I've seen it with myself. I've seen a family member of my own be so desperate and lonely they started dating somebody that was homeless. That's how desperate and lonely they were. And they're not
But
a bad
that was
looking
that
person.
one person, and you're ascribing that person to
I'm,
all women.
Yeah,
I'm
how
talking
many
about people. Period.
how many women are dating homeless people?
I've had family members. I had family members who came out of prison. I've had family members who have had careers. I have family members who've been in between. Listen, I've seen it all. But even my parents, I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? When people start getting a little bit older, they start to lose hope, and then they have conversations like, "Oh, I just don't want to be alone." And I did want this type of man, but I don't think I'm gonna find that. Or I did want this type of female, but I don't think I'm gonna find that. So I might as well do this, or I might as well do that. You know what I mean? So that's what people have in their mind. They start to lose hope, and they get lonely. You know what I mean? That's what happens. That's why they settle. That's the only reason that they settle. That's the only reason they settle at all. You know what I mean? And that's why it happens to them. You know, Those are the two double whammies that make people feel like, man, I'm never gonna find who I really really want to be with. So I just might as well do that. So that's why they take that route. But with that being said, I'm gonna say it to Black CKQ. I'm gonna promote my channel. You know,
That's always nice to ask. Yes.
not Elmer.
I was gonna promote. All right, go.
No, thanks, Elmer.
Asking is always good. Asking is always good.
But yes, thank y'all for having me on the platform. I am the network manager for knowledge and relationships. You can catch me at MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. Once again, MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.
Okay. That was
I mean, he wasn't exactly like all the way off the mark. No, I'm saying he wasn't. Cause that when as you get older, you do start to think you don't have the same confidence you did when you in your 20s. Because people are changing. But I don't know to what degree it is, but it's not the exact same.
But John,
you've been through some things. Like you got some people have trauma they carrying around. They got bad relationships that they still carrying around. And this men and women, like men, a lot of men are just as bruised and battered as women are. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if somebody's married, that's good for them. But you could end up making a choice that you would not have made 15 years earlier because you had more options. I'm just saying. But he ain't all the way off the mark.
Wait, hold on. We're gonna wrap it up now because that was only the first question of the panel, people. Come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That went pretty far.
So, I mean, it's still a thing.
Can I ask one more question, Clem, please?
Make it quick.
Okay. John,
I like you.
Yeah.
To your point, what would you say is going on more? That people are settling and losing hope, or that people are just from their experiences, from their knowledge of being in the world longer than the 20 and 30-year-olds, are they finding more things valuable? And is that not settling? Because I think the biggest problem with people is that you go and you find something different than looks, and people see you as settling, but you're really not doing that. You're seeing something. You're looking for other things, other more complete, beyond physical things. And that's where I agree with Mr. Hall of Fame. Like, he thinks that they're all just losing hope and getting old and getting uglier. But I think that as you get older, you just get smarter, and you have a little bit more wisdom, and you want to find things in people other than looks.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said to what extent I don't know. I just know that's why I said he wasn't all the way off the mark. Like, I understand that there are people out there who are making decisions. For instance, why would a woman? And I don't care if I get flack from this, but it just don't make sense. We all know that women are even the women on here. Women would agree that they like a man who can provide, right? They like a man who they're gonna feel secure with. So why would prisoners who are never getting out? How could they find somebody? What would make a woman go to them? Like, come to them?
I don't know about that. People that be in prison in relationships. I have an aunt that married somebody in prison.
She looked for him in prison, or did he go to prison? They were together on the outside. I ain't talking about that.
She met on the outside, but it's a show about people who meet people in prison.
Yeah, right. And I'm not. And what? Okay, so we know. Follow me on this now. We know that women most of the time seek out men who can be good providers, protectors, blah blah blah, all these things, right? These good qualities. So why would you intentionally go on one of them places and look for a man who cannot be a provider, cannot be a protector? He's not there. He's not even at the house.
Crystal is holding.
What would cause that?
John, I don't
cause you to do that.
John,
you understand what I'm saying? Like, what would motivate you to do that? Would that be you losing hope? Would you have something going on with your mindset? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what would make you do that? Why would you feel more comfortable with that type of man? What is scaring you about a man who's actually free, who can care for you, who can be. Is that like, are you super insecure? That's what I'm saying. These people exist, and I don't. To what extent though? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It's not something I've researched.
Enough of
But
them out
to
there.
but it is a factor when you get
Fair.
older. You change. Some people have trauma from previous relationships, where it does affect who they choose. It
All
does
right.
affect who they choose the next person.
We
But
will wrap
is
that
that
question up, Elmer.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. We're wrapping that question up.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Thank you for all the callers. Everyone that called in. Danielle, you had some great comments in there. That was great. It was amazing, really.
My
But
battery
you'll be.
had died, y'all. I'm sorry.
Say what?
I said my battery had died earlier. I'm sorry.
No. It was a joke. But next question for the panel: do we place too much value on a person's age? Do we place too much value on a person's age, Elmer? Do
I
we?
don't think so. I don't really like not age. Like I guess age range. Like if a girl just looks young, I guess the guys will have give that more credence, but not really like specifically age. You like a girl could be 40 and just look young, and a guy would be down for it just as much as dating a 20-year-old. You know, like it's. I don't think age plays a factor in on either side really. It's just it comes to happen that people with certain ages have certain things.
Okay, Crystal.
I think when it comes to relationships, maybe not, but in other things, yes. That we say by a certain age you should have accomplished X, Y, and Z. But I think maybe not so much for relationships. I don't think we place too much value, but I think that we do have set expectations where it gets to be a little unrealistic that by the age of 30 you should have this long list of accomplishments. And by 40 you should have these things. I think we do.
I think back when life expectancy was much lower, it was more understandable. So now that we're in a modern day where we live much longer,
Right.
you think that should be adjusted now?
I think it should just go away completely because everybody's path is different. And someone,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think there's an age limit to anything. I mean, why at 40 do I have to just stop achieving and growing? Why is that like the peak of my life? Why can't I achieve great things later in life? Why do I have to do everything now?
Okay.
That's going to be an anomaly for somebody to do that anyway. I'm with Crystal on that one.
Okay. You're next then.
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, even in developmental psychology, we talk about it. Like you don't really start living until you're in your 40s. That's when you really start living, because a lot of times you done messed up a lot of stuff. You made mistakes along the way. Things happen. Life happened. You had to put things on hold. Yeah, I mean, society, commercials, TV shows, they always they say they always show the typical like kid going to high school, then they graduate, they go off to college, they friends, they just hoorah hoorah, fast forward, they get these good jobs, blah 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 blah. Okay, to what extent that happens, I don't know, but I don't think it happens a great. I've not experienced it, and my friends didn't experience life happen. They made decisions when they were, certain decisions. Some people got babies. Some females I know got pregnant in high school or right out or in college, and they had to stop, to become a mom, and they kind of set them back a little bit. Some dudes, they had to stop because they became fathers, or maybe got into some trouble, or went into the military, or just wasn't cutting it in school, and they ended up doing something different. I just think we do
So
place a value on age and where you are
too
as
much of
far.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
So you think
I
we
think
need to
so.
get
When it's like that, I don't think they put a big value on it.
So you agree
When it
with
comes to
Crystal that we
living.
need to do away with it?
Yeah, I think you should do away with it because everybody has a different path. I'm still in school, man. I'm 47 years old. I'm still in school. I mean, I'm not at undergraduate level. You know, I mean, but I'm still in the high end for someone that's getting about to get a PhD because the average PhD is like 35 years old. I'm like 12 years overdue. But I spent 8 years in the military with with 3 tours of combat. So I lived the life. I mean, I've traveled a lot. I've been to 25 different countries. I mean, I've done a lot of things. You
But
know.
see, oh, all right. You know what? I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Danielle. Danielle.
I want to say thank you for your service. First of all,
You
that is
welcome.
like so amazing. I was go join. I wanted to learn how to make bombs and blow stuff up, but then I got scared.
That cord.
She didn't even crack a smile when she said that. You saw her face. I mean,
I know. I was
no
so
smile on
serious.
there.
She was
I was
serious.
so
That
serious.
cord C4
What?
M47 style firing device. I'm just saying.
I
I
don't
Danielle,
know.
do we place too much value on a person's age?
I don't know because so being on all these different panels and hearing how people think, it amazes me because I really don't think like most people, and so I don't put age on anything. I was 22 dating a 50-something-year-old. And it wasn't that I was a gold digger. He was handsome till I get out. Like, oh my God. Um, I'm, yes. And he treated his mother so well. I don't know. I don't put ages on things. And the most I've been able to hear other people's opinions is being on these panels. And it's really eye opening to see how majority of people think. I never knew about people putting ages and pressures on you because of ages. The only pressures I've ever received is myself on where I think I should be.
Danielle, you feel like you've never been pressured to do things at a certain age?
No, I don't be around nobody to be pressured for anything. Like
Like
and
not
then
even your parents?
okay, my mother did pressure me initially at 18 because my family have children very young.
Right.
And so she was like, "Oh, when am I gonna get grandchildren?" And I was just like, "I just graduated from high school."
Right.
But after she saw that I did not want no kids at the time, no,
Yeah.
I've not gotten any other pressure. So,
got pressure.
and then as far as me, when people look at me, I don't think people really be knowing my age because when I'm at work, I be in charge, and the younger girls like they don't be wanting to listen to me initially until they actually hear me speaking and can tell that I'm older. You know, because I think when they look at me, they just like,
Yeah, you look mid-20s.
Yeah.
and that's what people say. So it's just like,
They
maybe
tell the
that's why I
truth. You
don't
look
get pressured for
mid-20s.
age. You said what?
You look mid-20s. If I was to just see you on the street, I would automatically think you're about 25, 26 years old.
Thank
So,
you. I
but
appreciate it.
Danielle, I feel like you're saying that we do place too much value on age because if they don't initially respect you because they think you're young, and the respect only comes once they realize that you're older, then they are placing a value on the fact that you're
Well,
older.
they are. I mean, I don't.
Well,
Do we
that's
as
what
a
we're
society?
saying.
Yeah, he mean like society when he
It's
asked that
pressuring
question.
us.
Not us necessarily, us per se.
Well, then maybe okay. Well, then maybe it is pressure, and I'm just not noticing it. Okay. I be in my own little world, like.
Listen, it served you well. I mean, you've gotten more than most, I would say.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. But John, coming back to you, I didn't
Yeah.
forget. All right, so because you were saying that we place too much importance on age, because you were saying that you served in the military.
Mhm.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
But even that is already a lifespan right there, serving in the military.
Mhm.
So you still being in school right now, you've already served a life, and now you're serving another whole lifespan. You're serving two lifespan more than most people do. People go into the military, and then that's it. That's the ceiling for them.
Right.
So you as well are an anomaly on this panel. You know what I mean?
Seems that way.
It is,
Because I've not
is
had
that
a
way.
real, like, trust me, being in school all this time, it's a good thing that, like, we're in a long distance relationship because it would be real hard. Like, if she was here, it would be very difficult
You
because,
want to do it all the time.
yep, no. No, I mean, because I understand, like, women require attention and I require attention. And I will give her that attention because I like attention too. And I don't know if I have that discipline to, like, initially I'll say no, and then I'll always give
Cool.
in, like, okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like that by the time that she's actually here, I'll be wrapping it up. So it'll be better.
To your
So if we don't place, all right. So going back to the question, if we don't place any importance on someone's age, all right, do you think placing an importance on someone's age helps people to get things moving in their life a little bit faster?
Get things, you have to elaborate on that one. What do you mean get things in their life? Like, what does my age
Meaning,
have to do with their life?
and in generalities, we're speaking generalities here. If we're
Okay.
talking people in general, if there is no pressure from society for them to get their life together, when would they decide, okay, I should probably clean up my act, I should probably start trying to get a house or start a family if I want one, or get a degree so I get a better job so I can start making more money so I can live
They'll
a
come
better
to these
lifestyle?
they'll come to these conclusions
But
on their own.
and
yeah.
I don't think that the pressure has really had an impact because there's definitely people that don't have their lives together at all ages and they have experienced the same pressure. I'm sure as you get older, the pressure even gets,
Is that the average?
more intense.
Wait,
Huh?
Is that the average?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, there are still people that don't have their lives together.
Yeah.
Lots of people. They
Yeah.
may have jobs, here or there or whatever. But if you're setting like a certain expectation, there's many people that haven't met that expectation. So I don't think the pressure helps.
See, I think for the anomalies, and I like this whole panel is anomalies. I think that those are the people that were never going to conform to the pressure of age and societal pressures like that. But I think that for most people, the average person, they are going to conform to the pressures of age, and that's actually going to drive them to do the things that they feel society has told them to do. I think for most people that's what happens. I think for most people it's good that happens because they can get off their ass at 18 and they can they can finish college at 21, or they can do stuff like that and live their life. And then the anomalies are the ones that are messing up all the time and doing this and that, and then they figure their life out. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be like that, or I don't know.
What you just said completely, you said it backwards.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
everything you just said was like backwards.
I feel like I feel like to me it wouldn't matter to you if that's the person that you are. If you were that person that never cared about age, then that's fine. But for most people, I think that's what they're trapped in, or that's what they're
But don't you feel like sometimes, so for example, when you tell a person at 18, now it's time for you to go to college and determine exactly what you're going to do for the rest of your life and spend all this money to figure that out and learn it. How many people later in life are really doing what they thought they would be doing at 18?
Right.
Because we have pressured them to make that decision early in life to conform to this age requirement, and they weren't ready for it. And so now later on, they're going backwards and catching up where we could have just given them room to explore on their own time frame and come to what worked for them, because holding every individual to the same standard is bound to fail because we're all so uniquely different.
Right. I agree for some people, but how many people were given that opportunity and have amounted to nothing? How many people are still trying to figure out what they want to do or who they are? Like the thing is, like, again, this is like, I think it's like the anomalies get that chance, and they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it either way, societal pressure or not. I think that most people are gonna need. So I listened to this Radio Lab podcast about a guy who was an artist, and he was trying to do a whole bunch of different things, and he dropped out of college, and like he was doing this and that and all that, and at some point his dad owned a foot massage parlor, like one of those like Zen massage places where like they can press a certain part of your foot and it'll give you magic powers and shit. And what happened was his father was dying, and his father had two sons. He had the son who was lazy or not lazy, but like still trying to figure himself out. And there was another son who was a CPA, and he said, one of you are going to have to take the family business. And the guy who was still figuring himself out was like, no, I still need this isn't what I want to do. I want to go do something else. I want to do this and this and that. And then the other son's like, I'm a CPA, Dad. What do you want from me? So they flipped the coin, and it landed on the artist guy. And the artist guy, after his father died, or when his father was teaching him how to run the business, it actually became the job that he wanted. It actually became the life that he wanted. It actually became the job that he loved. And his father has been pressuring him since he was a kid to take over the business. So it's like those little examples are like the things that like come to my mind when I think about societal pressures. Like sometimes societal pressures are good. Sometimes, but like to people like us, we were never going to conform to these societal pressures. We were going to ruin our lives and then slowly figure it out as we went along.
So I want to piggyback of what Elmer is saying. If societal pressures are good, is it that the education that we're taught is not prepping us to become those successful people?
No, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's IQ. I think it's creativity. I think it's like some people think that they're more creative than they are. Some people think that they're smarter than they are. Some people don't think that they're smart enough. Some people don't believe that they're creative enough. And that all makes them fall in whatever position that they're in now. So I think it's less of an education and more of a confidence thing. I think they're like most people aren't told like the things that they need to hear in order to push that, in order to push that concept away from their brains of like, all right, at 18, let me go here. At 21, let me go here. At 26, let me find a wife. Blah, 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 blah. But some people don't mind that. Some people like that.
And some people are just programmed not to have that competition, but through parenting. Like you got some parents focus so much on giving their kids everything that they didn't have that they raise entitled kids. And an entitled kid, research has shown this, they just don't make it. They have all the opportunity, but they don't take advantage of any of it. Why? Because they come into every situation waiting for something to be given to them. And they typically will drop out of school, either start messing with some type of drug or alcohol. It's rough.
Wow.
So you got to take all that in consideration too. But that's a little bit off what we're talking about when it comes to, I'm still going to hold what I say about, the age thing. That almost made me kill myself. You know what I'm saying? Like when I became aware that I was behind on everybody, I was suicidal. Like I didn't want to be here no more. Everybody in my age group was buying houses. They were married. They guys I went to school with who were dunces. Like they were bad. Like they stayed in the principal's office, been multiple suspensions, teaching school. They have careers and they're great people. They grew into great men with great wives and impacting their. And I was like, man, I'm this far behind, bro. It wasn't until I went through cognitive behavioral therapy that I was able to do this. And the only thing they did was had me, my goals were to do these things: get with voc rehab, get in school, finish that, go to the next level, and keep going. And then that's what I did. And that's the only reason I straightened myself out. I mean, so sometimes I guess it just depends on the person. If you become aware and if you put these things off and they're really impacting your life, you know, I mean, you could really. I don't want nobody. I don't wish anybody to become aware like that. You know, because I was the one who I did everything else. I didn't want to really go to school. I rather went to the military, travel, and do all these other things. I didn't want to go to school, but after the car business tanked in 2008, and I stuck with it until 2009, 2010 as a manager. And then dealerships started to sell off. They don't keep the management when they sell that dealership off. You got to go. And I'm like, I ain't know what to do. That's all I knew for so many years. Besides that, and how to kill somebody. That's it. And how to blow something up. That's all. I wasn't interested in going back overseas. Working on a contract. So,
ladies, you want to chime in? Crystal, I think you had something to say.
I was gonna say about the story that Elmer said, and I feel like your story was in agreement with what I was saying, because if his parents were pressuring him his whole life to take over the business and he still resisted it, I don't feel like the pressure was helpful. If they had just afforded him an opportunity to learn the business, hey, just come help us. There's no pressure here. He could have learned to love it much earlier. But I think that sometimes pressure being put on us, it can cause like friction, And he seemed like it was important to him to find his own way. And he wasn't given the ability to do that. And that's all I'm saying about by setting these guidelines for people, we're sometimes preventing them from being able to find their own way and making people feel like failures, like in John's example, feeling like a failure because you haven't hit a specific landmark that is arbitrary.
And I had to learn that was okay through therapy.
Yeah. And
I was not learning that on my own.
But I feel like it shouldn't have gotten to the point where you needed therapy because society was telling you that you had missed a mark. So that's what I'm saying when I say we should just do away with it, because I haven't heard any examples of how this is the greatest thing ever. It's like it can. I feel like it.
So
not motivated.
It's pressure. Do you say it's really realistically just pressure, placing pressure, kind of?
Because it's placing one unwarranted pressure, because you're gonna you like, if society is actually going in a different direction, like against this narrative. Because I'm gonna show you something. More and more high schoolers are not attending their graduation. They don't see it as something that's important. More and more high schoolers are actually not going right into college either. A lot of them are not driving right now. I don't know why, but I know my son and about 20 some of his friends. My son 18 still ain't driving. My right now my expiration date is 2 days after my birthday, because I went and got them bad boys. No sooner than I turned 15, no sooner than I turned 16, I wanted to drive. Not so much the case with them. They are falling into that mindset is, I'll do all this other stuff when I feel like and I'm ready to do it, but I want to work on this right now.
Yeah. And John, you're saying that that's what.
And I'm cool with it. I'm giving him that room to grow. His grandmother's not cool with it, and we had to have a conversation. I said, look, at the end of the day, there's some good things that came from the way that you guys did things, but there's also some bad things that came from the way that you guys did things. You can get morals. You can have them grounded in solid morals, be a good person and all these things. Your grandson is amazing. Does not talk back. Very respectful. He's not lazy at all. He does what he's supposed to do without being told, shows a lot of discipline. But he is not going to attend college right now. He just does not want to. And I had already, unbeknownst to her, I'd already told him, now take a break. Like, trust me, take a break. You've been in school for 12 years straight. Take a break. Take a break. Figure yourself out. Oh no, he needs this. Come on. You don't need all that.
That's got to break someone.
Nah, he doesn't need all that. He needs to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, he likes social media. He said something at 12 years old that he wanted to do. He wanted to be a YouTuber. I mean, it's not like he don't have the followers. I mean, I know he blows Instagram completely up. He's got a lot of followers. He's over 100 and some thousand. And he just hit a video the other day that 37,000 views or something like that. Yeah, he real good with that Fortnite. He's like really fast as a controller. Like with the controller. I don't know the difference, but it's like controller. He does way faster or something like that. But he's got this whole of Discord and all this other stuff. So I'm not going to put no pressure on him. And that's way out of character for me because I'm traditional, but not when it comes to that because of what happened to me. I don't want that for him. So I'm giving him room to figure this out.
Danielle, you got anything you want to add before we go on to the video reaction?
No, my mother had a career, and she changed her career and became a business owner at like 40. Now she's trying to do something else 20 something years later. So my mother is an anomaly who raised an anomaly. So when it comes to careers or like timelines for things, I don't deal with that. Y'all, she just had to point out to me that there's pressure for age for how people view me. So I might be getting pressure that I'm just totally oblivious to. I have no idea.
Which is pretty good. Honestly, it's definitely pretty good. To me, I always found it especially for school. I always found it so crazy that from 8 years old, where you're just barely learning to talk and walk and all that stuff, to 10 years later, where you're 18, now you have to make the most important decision of your life, which is where you want to go to college and how you want to spend the rest of your life. When 10 years ago, you were just barely learning how to walk and talk right. It always baffled me that that was how schooling works.
And many people, like, when they're 16 or 17, don't even have the right to, like, their parents don't even give them enough leeway to, like, decide anything for themselves.
Can't even walk out the house on their own.
Yeah.
Stay up that late.
Yep.
And then at 16, 17, you can't do any of that stuff. Now 18, okay, you still can't do any of that stuff, but now you have to make the most important decision of your life.
Yep.
That your parents are going to be paying out of your pocket, so you better not let them down. That's not pressure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. But if you're just coming in, welcome to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement, and we are about to go to the video reaction, people. You want to do me all a favor? Mute your mics. And
I loved everything about older women. I love the smell. I love the feel. I love the mentality. I love dentures. Women, they can be self-conscious about dentures. Ladies, I promise you, telling your man that you have dentures will not turn him off. It'll put a smile on his face. It'll put a smile on his pants. I'm on my dating website right now, and there's a lady on here named Karen. She absolutely has a look that I'm attracted to. She has the platinum hair. She has a great smile. She looks very pretty, very adventurous. So I'm going to send her an email. There's a lot of terms for sexy older women. There's MILF, saber-toothed tiger. I've also heard cougar. My favorite term, I would probably say it would be silver fox, because the silver fox relates back to the platinum hair, and that's what really turns me on. So I just sent an email to Karen, and hopefully she responds. Yeah, she's gorgeous. The first time I realized I was attracted to older women, I was in 6th grade. there was a really, really sexy teacher, and she was probably about 65. She had the platinum hair, she was top heavy, and she was just gorgeous. Sex with older women. The truth is, they like it. A 68-year-old woman.
Thank you for stopping it there.
I'm like, what he about to say about the sex?
It gets great. It gets great. So, reaction. What do you guys think?
Is that from that TV show with the cougars? It was like a bunch of different, following a bunch of different guys.
No, this is called My Strange Addiction.
Oh my! But there was like a TV show just about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, what do you guys?
But it's, I mean,
yeah.
Listen here, man.
Yeah, it's
that's
fetish.
a fetish, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like that's a fetish compiled with mother issues and a little bit of Peter Pan. Like his mother probably may be forcing him to grow up, even though he doesn't really want to, and he's adopting this. He's taking this and putting it, just going on and dating this much. But if she was, I wouldn't even say nothing if it was like 20, even 30. But bruh, 50 year difference, 91, 85. Come on, man. Something ain't right. Because that's not even like how we think as men. Like something is off a little bit. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but that's a fetish. That's not, man, that's a fetish. It's one thing to date a older woman who looks, that one doesn't look her age, but 50, 60 years older, wow. That's a lot, boy. That's tough.
Yeah.
And you don't even know if a woman might die in her sleep. Boy, that's tough. That's tough. Man, that's tough.
Can I say, I thought a silver fox was only like a man describing a man. I've never heard that describing a woman.
Honestly, I agree. I never heard that describing.
They used to have this old group called the Silver Foxes, man. You don't watch y'all didn't watch Golden Girls? They was a part of the Silver Foxes.
Oh,
never saw
like,
it.
Silver Fox. Like Fox, like she's still foxy and she older. Like
gotcha.
Fox. Yeah. Like that.
Jesus.
90.
Yeah. Listen, I could see a point.
Sam said, or die during.
What?
Or die during it. Like, baby, you ain't coming, you gone. It's you out of here.
You said what was you about to say?
Elmer, what were you gonna say?
Like I could see a point. I have a friend.
Point. Okay.
I could see a point where like you could date an older woman by a significant number of years and it'd be okay. Like I have a friend who's a young guy. He's around my age and he's dating a woman 20 years older than him. And it's like, it's not that he is into older women. He was just attracted to this person and they like each other and they're dating and they've been dating for a couple of years now. But like with this guy, it's like definitely a fetish. He's dating multiple women with like 60 years on.
Jesus.
You can't cut that out.
That? Oh, man.
So I'm the host of the podcast now.
Thank you,
You're the captain now?
This is the podcast now.
Okay.
This is podcast.
So, going back to the video.
It's more? Oh,
God, of course.
I'm glad to keep forward.
Fair use, fair use.
Because they are, of course. But I mean, I guess the way I look at it is they're not ripe yet.
Hi, Mr. Kyle.
I'm Kyle. How are you today?
I'm Candace.
My first impression of Candace, she was cute as could be. When I looked at her, I thought to myself, I bet her grandma is gorgeous.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what is a normal date for you like?
Normally, she's between 60 and 80.
1680.
You can go out and have drinks. What's that looking at your face? What is that?
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
That's like my grandma's age.
What's your
And like
name?
my great
I might know it.
aunt's
What's your name?
age.
What's your grandma's name?
Candace is someone that, like, I would definitely hang out with her, just having fun. But she's not old enough for me.
Why do you like women that are older?
It's a visual. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the hands. I like white hair. I call it platinum hair, actually. I like necklines.
You like the gobble gobble?
No.
Why do you think Rich set us up, Nina? Clearly too young for you.
I think he was trying to call on me, and he was trying to say, go, Kyle talks, this is what he does, but I'll send him out with someone that's really attractive and see what happens. In 30 years, I'll take you a lot more seriously.
It's perfectly fine. Yeah. I never actually met someone like Kyle before. He was actually super honest up front, and I liked that. And I like that he does what he does, and he doesn't care what anybody thinks about it, and the women love him.
But hey, tell your grandma I said hi.
That is a smooth man right there.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga got some game, bro. He's straight. Like,
come on.
But my wife's still on here. She's still, she watching. Way before we met, right? I was getting my years. I was getting my oil changed, and it was a beautiful Korean woman who was 60. I ain't gonna lie, boy. I was attracted to that woman. I'm talking about I hit on her. Like, she gave me her number and everything. I just couldn't do it though. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But she was pretty. She didn't look her age, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't go through it. I don't know how this man, I just couldn't do it.
It's a fetish.
And I ain't got that fetish. I just don't have that fetish. I just don't. Because typically I like a woman at least 7 years, at the minimum 7 years younger than me. At a minimum. At a maximum 15. But a minimum 7. On my age,
You don't want to go down too low.
Huh?
You say you don't want to go down too low?
Yeah, 15 is the lowest I go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Rose is 10.
Would you date a woman your age, John?
No. Nope.
Why?
No,
Firm.
no questions for that? Really? No.
I just said why.
Okay. There we go.
I'm just not attracted to women my age.
Because we old and desperate and lonely, girl. What you
That's right.
doing?
And I don't need all that toxicity in my. To be honest,
paying attention to what he been saying all night. Second you hit 30.
Man, I did not say that, Danielle. I did not say that y'all were old and desperate. I never said that, Danielle. I did not say that. You just playing for you get Danielle all over me. She just playing, Danielle. She just playing. I didn't say that.
Let's go. Explain yourself, sir. All right.
So the reason 7 years minimum, because right around my age, and you gotta understand, me and Rose been together for 4 years, so I kind of adopted this mentality like years ago, right? Every time I tried to date a woman within 2 or 3 years of my age, and I tried, bro, the relationship that they had been in before was so much that it was unbearable. It was so bad. One woman like actually called me the dude's name as she screamed at me, and I'm like, wow, talk about Freudian slip. From a psychological point, I was like amazed. I'm like, yeah, I knew it was from there. I don't even know you that well. We ain't even went out on a date, but she just everything would cue her. Like, I bet you the type that won't do this, or I bet you like to do this to women. I'm like, my name's John. What's your name? I mean, it was just too much. It was too much. But then
I want to say to you what men say to women, because when women choose men repeatedly and they aren't good partners or whatever, we go to the woman and say, "Well, what is wrong with you?" So I want to say that to you. What is wrong with you that you attracting these type of women? Because all women that are older aren't just.
Well, no, it ain't. I'm just telling you, it was. I mean, I was probably toxic too because I came out of a bad relationship.
I don't think it's probably if everybody you got was that way.
Nah, the one that I stayed with wasn't like that, so that's why I stayed with her.
So you found one.
Yeah,
than
I'm with her
everybody
right
else.
now. She just came onto the thing.
That's what I'm saying. So, but out of everybody else, you saying there's something wrong with them, but could it have been something's wrong with you that you was attracting these type of women?
See the
No,
glasses tip. She had the glasses
no,
tip.
no. It was something wrong with them. The one that I was telling you, because it wasn't a lot. It was actually two. One, she didn't like the fact, and I kind of did that on purpose though. I made sure I told her first that I lived at home with my mom, and I was trying to get myself back together. And then she didn't want to stick around for that, and that was what I want. That was the reaction I kind of wanted, because
So are you
that's
sure
all.
it's nothing wrong with you? Because that's not normal.
No, that's normal for me because I wanted you to I wanted her to go ahead and get on out the way. That way I know that's the only thing that she care about. The fact that I was
Could you
at
not
home with
have
my
just
mom.
said, I don't want to talk to you though?
Yeah, she
I'm
didn't want
not
I
attracted to
mean,
you,
she
ma'am.
didn't
I
come
don't
back.
want to talk to you.
She did not want to talk to me. No more
No,
after
no,
that.
but without you lying, couldn't you have just been like, ma'am, I'm not attracted to you. I don't
No,
want
I
to talk
was
to you.
attracted to her, but I was not about to go into this. Like she needed to know up front, this is my situation. And she chose that not to go with that situation. She didn't like that. She didn't like that I lived at home with my mom. She didn't like that I was in school. She didn't like that. So that's her prerogative. She didn't like that. So I told her up front intentionally to see what she would do. And she did what I thought she would do. And she stopped calling. And I was cool with that.
That was hold on. That's pretty upfront though. No, Danielle. Like he
Yeah,
said,
I mean,
he
no
said
need to
straight.
lie.
He said
I don't think
honestly to her exactly what his situation was to see
Yeah.
how she would react.
But John
And
said that that's what he wanted.
That's right, exactly,
John, why
Yeah,
don't
that's what I wanted. I
you
wanted
want
her
her
to
to
know.
leave? Why did you want her to leave?
So
No,
so she wouldn't waste my time. Because if you stick
Because you knew
around,
that.
yeah, if you listen, man, I'm not stupid. I've been living a long time. And sometimes the people see this is where people don't know how to pick people. Because you think because a woman is agreeing with you or a man is agreeing with you the first 7, 8 months, that's who that is. No, Negro, that is not who that is. That is a representative, period, point blank, most of the time. And they will say what they think you want to hear. So if she would have said, oh my God, that's so great that you're in school. And I understand that you're living at home with your mom. Kudos for you. I wouldn't believe that bullshit. I would have just sitting back waiting, bro. Because eventually, what she gonna say is, "When do you plan on getting your own place?" Month 6. Like I'm not moving out yet. Okay, well, I can't keep doing this. Like I know you be getting the rooms or whatever, and you pay for it, but I think I just need to move on with somebody who is pretty much more established. Now, do I know that for a fact? Nope.
Right.
But did
How
she
how did she
behave that way?
differ from Rosalie?
Huh?
How did she differ from Rosalie?
How is she different?
Yeah, like how did
we
you
didn't
see
even,
that?
bro. When
How
I
did you
told
see
her
that
that,
in her and not in Rosalie?
when we talked on the phone, I told Rose the exact same thing. And guess what? She was like, "Oh, okay. So what all do you like to do?" That was the next question. And we talked. It never came back up. We talked. And anytime I had schoolwork to do, she would either ask me that I need to let her go so I can go do that homework, and if sometimes I'd ask her, "Hey, how good are you at math?" And we'll work on these things together. Or we just had basic friendly conversation. Like it was never any judgment. I always felt like I was free of judgment and I could be who I wanted to be with her. And that's what that drove it home for me. And now there was a point in our relationship where I started getting antsy and we broke up. But then I ended up coming back. Matter of fact, she sent me those messages the other day. I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Erase it. Take it away. I don't want to see that." He was like, "You remember this?" I said, "What's the point in this?" He was like, "To just let you know, I'm here. I always got your back." I said, "Oh, okay." I was like, I thought you was trying to be funny for a minute. She was like, "No, I always got your back. Just reminding you, I always got your back. So don't worry about it. Whatever you go through, I'm here." I was like, "Bet." And those are the kind of conversation we had. I mean, it kind of helps that in the Philippines, it's not uncommon for children to still be at home with their parents. So it's like a cultural thing.
So Danielle, Crystal, you guys had questions about that. What do you think about everything that he just explained?
Not a thought in the world.
I think he
With the
finally
question,
found somebody.
okay. So you prior to that though, you guys did not like the questioning habit.
The questioning habit?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say anything about that.
You said the what?
That was such cat, but okay.
No. I didn't say anything about that.
I think
I
it was
just-
more like a statement you was talking about. I
didn't say anything when that part came up. My thing was earlier on when he said he didn't date nobody his age, but I don't care about that part. The questioning. I think he should be upfront with people and find people that accept him as he is currently. That's the foundation of a healthy relationship. So I think that was good. I think that I think I could disagree with him on other areas, but I don't mind the questions.
Okay. Danielle, do you have any comments to chime in with? You look like you got something.
I'm happy that you found someone that matches you and your mindset, sir.
Danielle, you would be a fantastic politician. Fantastic. All right.
Can I go?
With that, we are going to move on to the next question of the night. If we have no control of our age, should we place any importance on how the opposite sex views it? If we have no control over our age, should we place any importance on how the opposite sex views it?
Well, since John just finished talking about this.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, well, yeah, you got to consider that because you're talking about should I consider how old I am in relation to that person that I'm going after, right?
Yeah,
that's what you meant by that question, right?
Yeah, in any way, shape, or form, when you're thinking about your age, in opposite with the person that you're thinking about pursuing or being with.
Mm-hmm. You gotta I think you should consider it.
Why?
Because not everybody's gonna be receptive. You can like younger women all you want to, but if the woman you like just so happens she don't like you, or your age is an issue, you're gonna have to consider that. For some people, age gaps are a thing, and then they don't like them. So to answer the question, yeah, you have to consider it. It don't really apply to me in my situation, but it has before. Yeah.
Crystal,
it has before.
You got a lot going on in your head.
Yes.
Coming out of your ears. I can see it.
I'm trying to put my thoughts together. So to go back to John's statement, he's not going to date anyone that's his age no matter what because they are his age. So it's a deal breaker for him. So that those women are no longer in that category. So I'm not sure that it's necessarily a matter of importance because some people are saying that it's a deal breaker based on the age. I can't put I'm I'm trying to keep it together over here.
Pretty much when you said that, her first thought was, "Oh shit! Oh shit!" That's it.
There's still kids there?
Huh?
Are there still kids in the room?
No.
No. I mean,
in front of all the time.
Yeah, but you mama, that's different.
She's teaching them how to build grenades, okay? And you think
I feel sorry about that.
Hurts them?
Yeah, I don't think that there's nothing that you can do about it. It's something that's it just is what it is, and you're only going to get older. So if it's that important to someone how old you are, then you should probably just keep it pushing.
So then we shouldn't really place any importance on it.
No, if it's the question about ourselves, like should we care for ourselves? No, it's out of your control. You're only going to get older. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's not like you can improve yourself in some way and then get younger. There's other things that you can do to make changes to yourself, but your age is not one of them. And if someone is going to say, hey, once you've reached this age, you're no good to me, you're going to, God willing, reach that age eventually and then be no good to that person. So I don't think you should even worry about it. I think you should just find someone that aligns with you better.
I think it should only matter for one situation, and it's if you want to have kids. That's the only time where it actually really matters. Anything other than that, I don't think it should matter very much. I like going back to John's story, and what I picked up from it is that he picked 7 years just because he found Rosalie, but it wouldn't if the number seems arbitrary to me just because he found Rosalie. If he had dated someone who was 39 or 40 or 41 or even maybe older than him and had the same qualities of Rosalie, then he would have been well off, and then the number to him wouldn't seem so important.
But he said that that's a deal breaker out the gate, that he won't date anybody his age. So
that's after dating people that was his age.
Right. But again, it was only like two guys.
I mean, plus I do want a little girl, man.
But when you talk about the age as it relates to having children, then that's only on the woman, because the men can father children at any age, right? So you're just saying it only matters as far as but that's like childbearing is separate from age, because there's people of all ages that can't bear children.
Yeah.
So,
but like on average, are you gonna date a 20-year-old or a 50-year-old if you want kids?
Right. No, I get that. But does a 20-year-old necessarily want kids herself at that age?
Right. No. Well, like that's a
find one
conversation to have, and that's where the specifics come in on the people that you date. But if you can find someone like that, go get them. But you are gonna stop yourself from looking at women who are older because of that drive or that want to have kids.
And see, for me, it was back and forth, because I do have 3 boys, but I want a little girl so bad, but I would bounce it back and forth. But then when me and Rose started talking about kids, and then I met her niece, I was dead set. Like, I really want a little girl. Like, I want a daughter, like bad.
You gonna like do something with your sperm to make sure you get this little girl or something? Are you gonna like have a test tube baby or something?
Nah, see, Rose is 10 years younger than me.
No. I'm not saying she can't get pregnant. I'm saying you want a little girl.
Yeah.
But you have 3 boys.
Oh, here. As the man gets older, you stop producing that Y chromosome as much. So the chances go up if you have kids later.
Lamont, hold on, sir.
I like her.
She is verifying.
I was telling him because I got 4 boys over here. I want a little girl. So I use the mic and let him know, hey,
he's a PhD.
You stop pushing.
You stop. I just muted the mic and let my husband know, like, hey.
You stop producing that Y chromosome as much. You still got it. It's just not as prevalent as it is when you're younger.
John, I heard
start dropping.
John, I heard if you have sex standing up, you might get a girl.
I don't know about all that stuff. I'm just going based off the medical journals.
What age, John? What age does this start dropping?
Hold on.
Over 45.
Oh, 45. Oh no.
Keep it in mind.
How
that's
old is
you
yours?
gotta get yourself an old dude.
I'm married.
I mean, the chances of them having another boy is not that great anyway. You got 4.
Yeah.
They just ain't that great.
It's not 50-50?
Didn't
Man,
you see that
it's
TikTok? It's a TikTok of a woman.
nah,
She got 9 boys.
I believe it. I believe it. Oh man, there's an anomaly, a genetic anomaly. Once you have like so many, you're not gonna keep having boys. I would have to work out. Like I would. It's a genetic problem, and I could give you the percentage, but I don't know the formula right offhand. But it's something like 27 or 30 something percent chance of having a boy. I mean, yeah, of having another boy. The odds are in favor of a girl, but I would have to. It's a big ass genetics problem you'd have to work out.
30% is a lot. That
It
still
is.
sounds like a boy to me over here.
Danielle, coming back to the question. We have no control of our age. Should we place any importance on how the opposite sex views us?
I agree with her. Unless you're trying to have a kid, age is irrelevant. Um, as long as you guys can find some type of common ground in a relationship, then that's fine. As long as you're healthy enough and smart enough and got enough drive to go restart your career, that's fine. I was in college when I first went to college. I met a woman. She was 82 in college, and I asked her. I said, "Why are you here?" She said, "Well, because when I was younger, it was illegal for me to learn. So she chose now." So if age wasn't important to that 82-year-old woman, age doesn't matter.
Good for her. Good for her. All right. If we have no more questions, no more callers, so we are going to move on to the next question of the panel. Does society tell men to place a value on women's age and women to place a value on a man's resources? And does society tell men to place a value on women's age and women to place value on a man's resources?
I don't think society tell a woman to place a value on a man's resources. That's just what it is. That is your job. Your job is to provide. So you have to have resources to provide. That's not society telling me that.
Really?
That is just no.
Okay.
So who determines that it's their job?
Oh, my religion, every other religion. I mean, yeah, that's not society.
Ooh, both of you are on opposite sides on this one.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with her. I just think it's still society. Like I think our religion is like a form of society.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't think God asked society what the rules were.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Danielle, you're saying that essentially it's religion that tells men and women how to be viewing each other or what is important to each other?
That's what told me how to view a man.
Okay. So you had, aside from that, if you didn't have religion, you would not have felt that way about a man.
No, because I love to work. Actually,
Okay.
I I wouldn't mind working if I could have found a man that didn't mind being at home without religion, putting everybody in their place. I wouldn't have had a problem going that way. But in my religion, a husband has rights over his wife, and a woman has a role, and a man has a role, and he can't play his role if he's at home doing my role. How could you have rights over me if you're at home with the kids and I'm working? It just doesn't go.
Interesting. Okay. Definitely interesting. Crystal.
I still say that we agree. I don't think society places the value on a woman's age as much as on the looks. But I guess if just based on the question, I would say somewhat yes. Definitely the value is the man's resources. Um, I'm not sure where I stand on the first part about the value being on the woman's age. I definitely think it's more important, the youthfulness is more important for women, but I think that she still needs to be like attractive. I think even if she's older and she maintains like a certain level of attractiveness, then I think that's more what the objective is for the women versus the youthfulness.
Okay. Elmer.
I don't think it's society doing it. I think that I think I have a different view than most people. Well, not most people, but I think you're either on the side of society dictates everything, or that biology dictates everything. And in my temperament, I certainly believe that men do put value on. I don't want to say age, but I want to say youth, because you want kids, you want to spread that, and that's ingrained in you from the day you're born. Like you're still animal. So even as she says, like as women get older, they still try to look attractive. What attractive means is to look younger, is to hide the age from your face. So I definitely do think that men put a lot of value on women's age or youth, and the same thing goes for women. And it's hard to talk about it because like I think that religion is the first society. Like that's once a group of people started believing the same thing, that's a religion. So once they started believing the same rules, they created the religion. Now it's tough to say that where those rules came from is God, or to me biology. That those are the things that are going to be conflicting. But to me, religion was the first society ever created. That's when people started coming together and started believing in one thing.
Wow. Elmer. That was well said. It was good. You know what? You did that, man. I like what you said. John, I saw you corkscrewing your face over there. What's up, bro?
I mean, I had to go look at the research real quick. The older you get, the younger of a woman you prefer. But the youthful appearance. But I don't know, it's because you innately still desire to father kids. So when a woman is younger looking and is actually, and she's younger, then that's you're more attracted to her. More attracted to her.
So that's not society.
Nah, according to I think you kind of hardwired for it. Because I always, God.
Oh.
Yeah, both of you guys are on the same page. Elmer is not on the same page. So.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, he out there in left field.
I think Elmer was on the same page.
I am on the same.
Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing.
I think we all define.
Elmer's just not gonna say God. I don't think
because you gotta put into account what we have biologically in us. So is that God?
Yeah.
Is that God? You don't have no religion?
Huh? No, I'm a Christian.
You don't have no religion?
No, I'm Christian.
So Christianity didn't tell you
you Christian.
how you work?
So I think that there is more to be explained than just saying God. That's where I want to sit. I say, like, if you want to explain things to people, you can't just say God. You can try, you can believe that, but you gotta give evidence, or you gotta give proof, or you gotta have God work with science. Religion works with science together in order for us to make sense of things in this world.
Well,
So,
right now, religion is working with science.
yeah, like, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
But to me, particular to this specific question, we put value on women's age because of biology, because as animals, we want to procreate.
We had an internal drive.
Now, what's behind that?
Yes, you do.
What's behind that? You can call God. And I do.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
Which is making Clement mad. He's like, I want one of y'all
Yeah.
to say something. So he's gonna dig into his bag of tricks and have us arguing here in just a minute.
Nah. That's we're good. We're good. This is a good panel. Okay, this is a good panel. Danielle, I like you. You asked a lot of good questions.
She's spicy too, boy.
Yeah.
I'm for real. She real spicy. That's cool.
Good. All right,
Crystal, hey, man, I already know. You already Crystal real spicy, boy. Hey, Crystal. So I was looking that up to make sure, because I didn't want to say nothing. Because if it's a couple who ain't got no kids, you got a 50-50 shot. But it's a whole bunch of other factors that come into play. Like after, it's not like each time though. So it's like age comes in. Because I know when you said, that's what made me go look it up. I'm like, wait a minute. It's a 50-50 shot. What are you talking about? A genetic problem? And I was like, nah, it's not, because like age comes into play and the number of kids that you have already come into play. Considering you have made these kids with the same woman, that comes into play. Also,
yeah,
that comes into play. Even though she's not a determining factor for the sex, because she's always going to produce the same type egg, right? It's just the law of probability. It's just like, because nothing is 100%.
It's like flipping.
Like you can't say I'm a 100% have all boys because I have 3 boys, or I have 4 boys, I have 5 boys. It just doesn't work. It just don't work out like that. Somebody is gonna be that percent where the next one is gonna be a little girl.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. All right. So we are going to close out the panel with our last and final question.
Smash all the rest of their fries from all other 3 of them.
What is something a young person can only realize as they age? What is something a young person can only realize as they've aged?
Their value.
Value of time.
Oh, that's a good one.
John, you were saying?
I'm gonna say their value. Their value.
Their value.
Mm-hmm.
Elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, like when you younger, so it kind of goes hand in hand with what Danielle is saying, I think. So like when we young, I know at least for me, I always look like the world. Like I got all this time. I ain't got to worry about. I got all this time. So I make decisions that don't bring me personal value. Like, 'cause I just don't care. You know what I'm saying? But then as you age, you start to see value in what you should be working on. What you should, like, you're starting to understand that, okay, I'm not where I need to be. And that's when you start comparing yourself. You start making comparisons. And you're not really where you want to be. So you start making changes. So you're starting to understand who you are and what kind of value you can actually bring, to society and to yourself, because that's when it starts to become important to you. Do you want to leave a legacy? Like, what are you going to leave behind? Like, how can you change? By this time, you've Maybe you've been fired a couple of times and you're like, you know what? Damn this, I'm never going to get fired again. I'm gonna open my own business. That's what I'm gonna do. So you start to value yourself. Whereas if the younger you would have been, if somebody said, so you never get fired, you should probably open your own business. Man, I got my whole life thinking about that. I don't care about opening no business. I don't want all that responsibility. But now you've experienced it, what it's like to be fired, and how you were living check to check. And next Friday, you're not getting the check. So this shit, like, you know what? I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna get my own business. I'm gonna get going, or I'm gonna do something different. But you just start to realize more how valuable you are, how valuable you can be. So I just think over you learn your value, like what you can contribute to society.
Danielle, since you were saying something similar.
I was saying the value of time also with like experience, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know until you experience things, and you don't experience things until you have, and time has to pass for that, Time brings wisdom and experience and confidence. Like we were saying, like about confidence in age when I first clicked back on. And I'm more confident now than I've ever been, not only in myself, but in my decision making. I've lived and I know what's for me and what's not. And I have time to thank for that.
Crystal.
I would say how ignorant we are. I think when we're young, we always think that we know more than what we know, and that, people just aren't trusting us, and they don't know that how mature I am and all that stuff. And I think as we're older, we can look back and realize that there's so much that we didn't know. And I think in the moment, I'm sure I feel now that I'm, so knowledgeable. And then 10 years from now, I'll look back and realize how much I didn't know now. So I think especially when we're young, we get that high school diploma and boy, we have conquered it all. We know everything and no one can tell us anything because we're grown now. So, yeah.
All right. Since we are the same age, 28, 29, we haven't really lived much yet. We've lived enough, but not much. We've got a pinky toe in the grave already. Elmer.
I'm 28. Okay.
29.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't lose your fucking hair, bro. Try to keep that shit as long as you can, cause you get some get some hair plugs, shave your ass, and put it on top of your head. Do whatever you fucking can to keep that hair. All right, because this is too beautiful right now. And if I lose this, if I lose this, then there's nothing else for me. Like, I might as well just like disappear.
How old are you, Er?
I'm 28.
The same age all of us are, girl. 28.
Yeah, all of us.
All of us.
That's my line. I'm sticking with it.
No, because then Rosalie be way older than you.
I like my
and we know that can't happen.
I love
Right.
my Cooper.
Exactly.
In this case, she can get a waiver.
Guys, it has been an amazing panel. I really enjoyed having all of you guys and your thoughts on here. On that note, we are going to close out for the night. Crystal, you're going to start us out. Shout out your
Thank you so much. Again, Clement, for having me on. I had so much fun with you guys. I really enjoyed you, Danielle and Elmer, as well, for the first time meeting you guys. But yes, I'm Crystal from the In-Law Suite. It is a weekly podcast that comes out every Friday morning with me and my sister-in-law, Nicole, where we talk about everything that's important to us as wives and moms. And you can find us on any podcast app. And we do a Tuesday night live on Instagram at the In-Law Suite at 6:30 every Tuesday.
There it is. There it is. Next up, we have Mr. Black Wall Street John.
Yep. If you about ready to fire your boss so you can't get fired, hit me up, Black Wall Street Trading LLC. I teach you how to trade some options, replace their current income, or if you just want to pick up some extra income, just hit me up. Let's learn.
I love it. I love it. Next, we got Elmer. But before you go, we have a fan. All right. Okay. Chill, Elmer.
Sam's my girl.
Bald and beautiful. All right.
Thank you.
There it is.
Spanish Lotus on TikTok, Spanish_Lotus on Instagram. That's pretty much it. Follow me. I mean, just if you want to see more of me, I'm gonna be on Clement's podcast a lot more. Just bothering him and shit. So
there we go. Looking forward to it.
Staying on here.
Almost. There we go. Now we'll finish up with Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. On Instagram, it's Fly Nurse Mom Wife. On YouTube, it is A Sip of D. Content coming really soon. I'm so excited. I have really enjoyed this panel. All of you guys are wonderful. Thank you for having me, Clement. Always nice hearing other people's perspectives.
Awesome. So for everyone tuning in, welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. If you've been here for the whole show, I really appreciate you. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to be notified every time I go live on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And till then, you have a good
It ain't hard to see they tryna keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token.